Hello everybody, it's Sharptooth here from the Diablokes. In this series of videos we're going to be doing a normal playthrough with nothing but plus experience items. We're going to be foregoing any other beneficial stats and just sacking items and using them only if they have lots of plus experience. What this is going to be simulating to see if in normal difficulty, if it's actually worth it to pick up plus experience items, even though they might not be as good as what you really have. We're going to time the playthrough, see how well we do, and we're going to go back and do some other videos, see how long it takes to get to level 13, and then compare that to some other normal playthroughs with no items like that, just trying to twink out the tune, see if that's a little bit more efficient. If you're just interested in seeing how this turns out, I'll put up a tag here. You can click and go to that video and see the times and such, and maybe compare it with yours. But anyway, here we go. We're going to get started here. I'm sure a lot of you are getting a little bit tired of all this beta content, but trying to do something a little bit refreshing and something that will be beneficial to know once the game actually releases. I chose barbarian just because that's really my favorite character so far. I don't really think it's going to make a whole lot of difference, plus or minus maybe a couple minutes depending on the power of the class. But if you're interested in seeing the other ones, you can do that too. I'm going to be skipping all the dialogue and such just to make this playthrough as fast as possible. Another thing that's going to be interesting to see is what level I am once the first playthrough is finished. I've done quite a few playthroughs in this patch, and it seems like most of the time you're level 8 or 9 when you kill the Skeleton King for the first time.
You'll find Leah at the Slaughtered Calf Inn.
Not really sure if that's just because using a couple plus experience items here and there, or just being able to kill more monsters, you know, clear more stuff. Alright, let's see. That has plus 2 experience, plus 2, plus 2, plus 4, plus 2, plus 1. We've got a couple other items here that we'll equip as we go. Got some pretty nice rings with plus 5 experience and such. It also helps if I close the stash before equipping stuff, huh? Let's try that again. Alright, so right now we are sitting at 13 bonus experience per kill. Try not to waste too much time explaining things. I don't want to throw off the results.
Watch out! The wounded are turning!
Throwing power.
This is killing business.
The dead will overwhelm.
Alright, Hammer the Ancients. Sounds good.
16 militiamen.
Now obviously, I've got most equipment slots other than like helm and shoulders.
How can I help?
As far as magic shoulders go, the earliest I've seen those being used at level 11. So that might come into play when I start doing the second part of these sets to see how long it takes to get to level 13.
That's one of the wretched mothers. There are more of them in the ruins down the road.
Another thing to consider is solo games versus multiplayer to see which is faster that way. I'm assuming multiplayer will be faster as long as everybody works together and you don't have people just sitting in town waiting for you to start the Skeleton King event. I'm also going to do my best to kill everything along the way. I'm not going to skip any large groups of monsters or anything, but I'm not going to go out of the way to hunt for some. Just kind of doing a normal playthrough, what you might do the first time you play.
Quill fiends. A nest must be nearby.
Guys are annoying.
Disgusting vermin.
And no good items. Now, assuming that this is faster in this and maybe in normal difficulty as well, I'm certain it won't be in Nightmare in Hell to forego, you know, say strength or dexterity if you're a month or something like that, you won't get your most beneficial class specs. You don't want to just take stuff with intellect if you're just because it has extra XP on it. I don't think that's going to work out very well. But surely everything you can find that has it on there that is better for you.
The ancients grant me strength.
Cleave. I'm gonna stick with Bash for now. I'm not gonna waste time in the well. There's very few monsters down there.
Task is done. These unholy creatures can rest now.
I mean,
What happened to
11
this treasure?
experience per
Are the
kill is pretty
fiends hoarding it?
substantial when you see that I only have 4,500 experience in the next level. Not 100% sure how much experience these guys give. That'd be something to figure out here. Another question would be is how well this stuff scales. Alright, let's see. I'm at 1719, 1764.
Old Tristram, Diablo himself once
My
walked.
math skills are a little off, but it looks like we're getting about 25% more per kill. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'll do some math later on editing. You guys can't make too much fun of me. What's my empty equipment slot? Sure. Yeah, I've got that one. That unlocks at level 4. We'll have to switch to. A lot of the item slots I wanted to start with early I couldn't craft because they have higher level requirements. Right.
Thank you for your...
You are
Come.
quite welcome.
Here, let me open the
This
gate.
mirror, does she look like she's naked with tattoos all over?
Adria was my mother, but I don't know much about her. She died when I was very young. I was raised by Uncle Deckard.
What of your father?
I'm told he was a great warrior who was lost when Tristram fell to the demons.
Well, that's a cool story.
Look, a hidden cellar.
My mother had her secrets.
People said she was a witch, but I never believed it.
If I'm not mistaken, Adria's tag in Diablo 1 have witch. I'm just saying, who knows? Maybe that's not obvious
Grow in
enough.
power.
Here's the key.
Aiden came to me last night.
That's cool too, don't care. What I get here? That sounds good. Stomp some ground. So far in this patch, the current patch is 16. As by the time I release this, 17 might be out. But so far, I'm really liking the Barb in this patch. I'm also really liking the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter's come a long way since early beta, where they've changed the way you generate hatred and such. When the beta first started, the Demon Hunters were really lackluster. No one really liked them. I do think my second character, at least, is going to be a Demon Hunter.
Tristram Cathedral. The fallen star lies within.
Surprisingly, I'm at least impressed with the wizard in this patch.
This is where
Until you
the
get to
star
level
fell.
11 or 12, they just don't seem to do nearly as much as the rest of the classes. And even then, it's still a little bit off-center, I guess you'd say. 3, that's a little better. Potential right high. +2. And yeah, we'll switch to building action here. I think it's all I can use right now. And then I can equip these rings at level 6. So just to clarify, that is 22 bonus experience. Absolutely certain you can do better.
You weak against my blows.
I was actually in the process of saving up a lot more items for this when they announced that beta patch 17 was going to come out, so I wanted to make sure I didn't miss my chance after all that saved up. All in all, it doesn't feel like it's slowing me down any to have these items. You know, like my bracer and leg on it doesn't do me any good. But, you know, it's not really slowing me down any yet. Maybe it will in a few levels.
Oh, minions! Stay back! Back!
I don't know how I feel about the map pinging,
I will save you!
where your next waypoint is if you get close enough. It almost feels like cheating after so many years of Diablo 2. But you do have to get fairly close for it to start showing up.
More fury.
It is wonderful to hear that Leah is
So I guess it
well.
won't make too much difference.
I fear the worst. I learned of this secret passage through old maps. We must discuss the fallen star. Follow me to
He sure does move fast, doesn't he?
Uncle!
I grow in power.
the skeleton.
Level 5. Definitely gonna switch to Rend. I absolutely love that skill. The first rune you unlock for it, which is available in the beta, increases the range.
Blacksmith.
Right now it's
Attain said you could.
Thank you. Follow me.
it says nearby enemies, but I think getting the I can't see him yet. But I think the rune increased it to 21 yards. I could be wrong. It's just really powerful. Bleed damage is really wicked.
I'm sorry.
This must be done.
Haven't been using much ground stuff. Once you get leap, that seems to take precedence.
Forgive me.
Adric,
Hurry up and puke.
help me.
You.
I couldn't have. You'll find his tomb in a cemetery in the Weeping
Right.
Hollow. And if you see my fool
already halfway
apprentice
through
out
level
there,
5.
tell him to get back
Yeah.
to town.
5. You get an extra 10 bonus XP once I hit level 6.
There's a big pack coming this time. Stand.
And also, for those of you who don't know, the fence vendor, he's actually over here, right before you leave town, sells rings a lot earlier than you can actually find them. In fact, I've found very few rings locked in beta, in this beta patch anyway. That's where I'm getting all these really nice rings, you know, plus damage, plus experience. It's not uncommon to see plus 2 to 4 damage wounding rings that are probably the most important piece of equipment as far as increasing your DPS other than your weapon. Having some trouble with check there. Hopefully they'll leave it the same way and once release gets here. Let's see, 2, same thing. Because that is a definite increase in speed, have access to those.
cannot stand before me.
There it is. That does seem pretty fast, doesn't it? Alright. That is all the plus XP items I have right now. And we're at 32 bonus experience per kill. What did I unlock? Yeah, let's do copper.
Still recharging.
Stun action. Also, the random knockback does, it's not predictable and it is kind of a little bit annoying, to be honest with you. I much prefer like cooldown or expensive skills that have knockback, so you knock enemies back when you want
Must
to,
be the
and
blacksmith's
just
apprentice.
a random
Papers could be
chance.
sold at this rate.
Just a thought. That's my preference anyway. All kinds of lore. Make sure I pick up the potions. I might need them later with all this gimped gear. Hopefully not. Up here at the cemetery, I figured that I would go ahead and clear 2 tombs. There's always 3 active.
Need more time.
You know, some games you might find it the first time, other games you might not. Go through all 3 before you find the chance there's 2. So I figured 2 is a pretty average number. To get perfect data from stuff like this, you'd have to do hundreds of playthroughs, and that's not very realistic, obviously. We're just going to get an inkling of whether these items are worth it or not. Nightmare guys. These guys are very, very annoying. Especially with melee characters. I have run into a few ranged monsters like the little summoner guys in the cathedral that summon skeletons. If they have the nightmare affix, they will fear you on their ranged attack. It does seem to have a small internal cooldown, like they can't just chain fear you, but it's not very long, maybe a couple seconds. And I'm not sure if it's like a global cooldown effect, like if you're feared by one monster, you can't be feared by any for a couple seconds, or if it's just per monster. I haven't quite figured that out yet. Because if you have a pack like that one we just ran into, that all of them have nightmare ability, it get a little messy. Especially if they can all fear you and have their own internal cooldown, chasing them all over the place. It's not nearly as bad for range classes, obviously. Blizzard's done a pretty good job with different monster affixes, making some that are really nasty to range and some that are really nasty to melee. But just by the nature of things, there seems to be more various from Alright, so we've cleared this one.
The crown must be in a different crypt.
Not completely, obviously, but most of that was cleared. There gets to be a point if you're hunting down every monster, then you're wasting time that you could be killing other monsters. It'll be interesting to see how fast people make it to level 60. I would say within the first couple days. The other blokes and I are planning to have have some sort of marathon playthrough come release day. Have to give you some info when I know.
Guides my hand.
But if you're interested in watching this, just stay tuned to the webpage. We'll have plenty of good stuff for you, I promise. The only details I know for sure right now is there's going to be 4 of us doing a marathon playthrough. Like I said, we don't know how long it's going to take to get to 60, but we're going to try to power through all the way. At least give it a good 2 or 3 days straight. I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to be doing your marathon playthroughs if you took off work and whatnot. But you can always check in on us, see how we're doing. With the increase in difficulty within, I think it was a couple patches ago, in the beta, I want to say they made everything probably twice as hard. At least stuff has twice the XP.
I am on the right path. The ground must be near.
And also, you can't craft as good items as you used to. Seems like they've increased the level requirement on a lot of stuff. Yeah, that stun is so good against just single large monsters. I probably spent half that fight stunned. It also works on the Skeleton King, which is something to note.
Back to hell, dog.
Fortune Shrine. A little light run on there. If I run into any experience shrines, I won't use those.
No,
Because that's
I will
another
not
just
allow you
kind
to bring that
of
monster
chance thing you
Leoric
may
back
or
to
may
this
not
world.
run into. And it will definitely skew the data a little bit. All that stun. Good stuff. And back to town. They're almost level 8 already. I'm already noticing an improvement considering that sometimes
It's good to work again.
won't even make it to level 9
Knew as the
after
gate
killing
was
the king.
placed upon the Black King's head. I need something more than making spades to occupy me.
I'm happy for you, Hadrig.
Leoric's crown.
Alright. And the last leg here. So much fun. Oh, crap. That made a pretty large error. It's going to be crazy in later difficulty. Just walk open the door and all of a sudden you're dead. I don't know if they plan it that way or it just happens sometimes, but there's been quite a few times you open a door and there's something big and nasty waiting for you right on the other side. Just little things like that are incredible. Nightmare, guys. absolutely terrifying. I can't wait.
Still recharged. Growing power.
Lovely. Much as I like you, Ground Stomp. Oh, hurry up. Leap is just so good. It's so fun. The Wizard and the Witch Doctor do not currently have any movement skills, leap or vault in the beta. I think the Wizard can get a level 18 or something. I'm not sure about the Witch Doctor. But the lack of movement abilities like that is kind of frustrating. Missed a shrine back there, but oh well.
Maintain your incantations. You will soon.
Your magic is weak.
I am free.
The range on Ren when you first get in is kind of short.
Now, back to my mission.
However,
Who are you?
it's still really powerful.
Tell me, what brought you to this infernal place?
I come to vanquish the skeleton king.
Do I?
Stun, 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 stun.
The cultists dragged me past this glowing pit. What made it?
I am here to find out.
Down this way.
I would not be surprised if they nerf the clobber chance a little bit before release.
Warrior of the Templar Order. It is the Skeleton King.
I don't know, maybe
you
they
seek.
won't.
Then you will have to fight your way past John Dye. There is no
You
reason
just do have to be right in their face, and that's kind of a dangerous
Together
place to be.
we stand.
Hey, some weapons. Templar does like no
Still
damage.
recharging.
He is a little bit worthless, but that's okay. Now, normal difficulty, there are only
Black magic.
the special
bars our
monsters
way.
and monster groups only
the
have
will of a
one
Templar is stronger.
ability. But there are some monsters, like the big fat guys, that have just inherent knockback.
The Coven is my brother.
And when you get one of those that has like a Nightmare Epics or something like that, they can get kind of rough. So essentially, they have knockback and nightmarish.
Coven's evil magic.
And just that's a little bit of a glimpse of what we can see in later difficulties.
Thank you for your aid.
No. If you've run into things like that, they can give you a tough time if you're not max level. And the game is still pretty easy once you get to 13, but then again, you have over-leveled all this content. So all this content, even this level and the crypts is tuned for level 8 or 9. So you get to 13. Yeah, of course, you're having a pretty easy time. I don't know. I trust Blizzard. They know what they're doing. If it's not hard enough for us when it comes out, they'll make it harder. I regret that we ever said anything. Other than
You cannot stand before me.
grinding away at Inferno mode, I'm really looking forward to some arena PvP action. said that they're not going to extensively try to overbalance Arena because of all the different ways you can customize your character. But I really think there's going to be a lot of support for at least fairly balanced Arena play. And I think they'll end up doing a lot more to it. I mean, I don't know if it's going to get to the point if we'll see Arena in esports leagues. God, look at this. See, this is how it gets a little bit tricky. Just chain carry. You saw those guys just keep fearing me over in the corner, so it does kind of seem like it's each individual mob has their own internal cooldown on that fear. That's what I'm assuming. I could be wrong. Do some more testing on that.
Need more time.
Yeah, this fat guy doesn't just have knockback. Just a normal one does with their little spike things. Anyway, as I was saying, I would like to see Diablo Arena get to the point where you'll have some esports tournaments and things like that, but I don't know if they're going to balance it enough. We'll have to see.
Still recharging.
And I think the game lends itself to different models of PvP other than just Arena. Maybe not a...
My name is Lockdown.
capture the flag or something like that, but I could see Dota-style gameplay, even capture point, like Dominion if you play League of Legends. I'd be fine with that. There's a lot of variants that can do a lot. This game engine is incredible. I can take it in a lot of directions. Wow, that guy flew. Or part of him, anyway. Let's see, you can start seeing the area you're supposed to go before you actually reveal it in your map. Which is nice, I suppose, but it does feel a little bit like cheating. Another interesting thing, if you don't have the beta, you might not be familiar with this, but if you're in a multiplayer game, in a party, everyone shares the same map. So if you're wandering in different directions and one of your team members happens to find the entrance, you can just look and it'll be there even though you haven't technically been there yet. I guess another benefit to that is if someone's using some sort of map pack, they'd be able to know, right? As much map hack as there was in Diablo 2, that's gotta be one of the reasons I did that.
Still recharging.
Out of potions. Does get a little bit hairy. Sometimes it's not as easy as it used to be. I've seen more complaining about difficulty than anything else so far, but not so much lately. Like I said, I trust Blizzard to make it as hard as it needs to be and give us a good challenge. Looks like I'm definitely going to hit level 9. The real test will be to see how long it takes me to get to 13, which will be the second series of this. Skeleton King might be a little old, so I might just do a synopsis. Obviously, I'll still do a video about it, but skip some playthrough aspect, show the results. Hurry up and wake up, man. It's time to die.
I'm badly hurt.
Ouch. And me with pots. This might get a little bit embarrassing here. Ouch.
Impossible.
I think I'm gonna die. Wow, you knocked the crap out of me. That is definitely something to consider, though. I mean, I've substituted good items for crappy ones with plus XP on them.
See, the problem is, they never should have named this place New Tristram. We wouldn't be getting attacked all the time. New Wellington, would we?
So the point is, that's something you got to be aware of if you're going to be sacrificing good items just because this other one has more experience. You're probably going to die a lot. Not to say I've never died on the Skeleton King, but I don't think I've died on him as a barbarian in this patch. That is definitely a point to be made. Yeah, I mean, rocking 21 damage, that's not very much. He's immune to stuns if he's doing his spin ability thing. See there, I've got him stunned. Summoning skeletons stops the cast. Demon Hunter skill impact when the rune system first came out, it was a little bit overpowered with the stun chance, and they did nerf it a little bit. This isn't quite the chain stunning that you saw with that, but it's pretty dirty. Especially when it stops a skeleton summons. It seems to stop a mid-swing as well. Well, there's the first section. See, extra experience, more vitality, that might be something I would use, but it's not quite as good, so it's kind of trade-off you're making. Well, that does it for the first part. We'll time it and see how well we did. And then the next portion will be the grind 13, how much faster that is, and such. So thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for the next installment, and check us out at TheDiablokes.com. Thanks a lot.